welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. It is, of course, the day after that El Clasico victory at the Bernabeu once again. We're into the Copa del Rey final, but of course, ahead of that game on Saturday, a rematch, if you like, at the Bernabeu against Real in El Clasico, we have a lot to do, simply because the level of performance yesterday wasn't quite where it needed to be. Yes, we did some things very, very well, which we are going to be discussing today, but also, we did some things that certainly need improving, because I don't think we're going to get away with that twice. We have to improve. There's certain areas that we have to pinpoint. We are going to be discussing all of that and some more. Let's do this! But first of all, guys, if I just run you through some sensational Copa del Rey statistics by the way of Barcelona, simply because we have now reached our 6th successive Copa del Rey final, which is an all-time Spanish record, and Gerard Piqué said after the game that he thinks that record will never ever be equalled in Spain, and of course, in the final, when it comes down to it, we are going to be aiming to lift our 5th successive Copa del Rey title, which is absolutely incredible, and we have not been knocked out of the Copa del Rey for an incredible 1,778 days. We haven't been knocked out in that time. Real Madrid tried. They really did. But of course, we came out on top. And like I say, guys, on the face of it, 3-0 against Real Madrid, you're not going to hear me complaining. You're simply not going to hear me complaining here. But you have to accept that yesterday, Real had the chances. Real had the domination at very crucial parts of that game, particularly in that first half, where they could have and probably should have taken the lead and possibly scored a few goals. They had 14 shots altogether to our 4. They had 4 on target, and out of those 4 on target, 3 of those were classed as big chances. We only had ourselves 1 big chance in the game, statistically, and of course, with every shot on target, we managed to score a goal. And I'm going to talk about what we need to do better, of course, in just a moment. What you have to give credit for here, which is something that we don't often see from Barcelona, is that clinical nature in front of goal. That is enormously impressive, to score that often, with that little chances, that little possession really in the final third. We didn't really have a lot of territorial play in Real Madrid's half and in their final third for much of the game, but when we did, we made it count. We were clinical, we took our chances, we were cutting edge. That's what you need to do in these big games, and I was, even if the performance is below par, I was still enormously impressed with the way we went about our finishing and the way we really put the sword to Real Madrid. But look, it all comes down to this. This is how the two teams lined up last night, and you all know what I'm going to say. You all know what we have to discuss in this game, and it's this experiment here. I spoke about it yesterday, Roberto and Semedo, and it was all to stop this man, Vinicius Jr. Did we stop him? Absolutely not. We didn't stop him. It's as simple as that. He ran riot down this left-hand side. He was getting in behind. He was coming deep, and Reguilón was overlapping. They had a lot of play down that left-hand side, by far the most dangerous area of the pitch, and Real did really well in this area. Vinicius was also coming inside, and I also think with Roberto, he wasn't really supporting Semedo, simply because sometimes we actually went to a 4-3-3, so you'd see Busquets drop in here, you'd see Rakitic come over to here or here, and Roberto actually seemed to be struggling, whether he was coming inside to actually marshal Kroos, and then Casemiro was coming forward sometimes. Should he stay inside and sort of marshal this area, or should he go out and help Semedo when he's out there in a 2-on-1? And I think, to be honest, Sergio Roberto yesterday wasn't fully to blame. He didn't really seem to have a clear role in this team, and that was the problem. I feel there like we wasted a player. We didn't really have a fixed position, a fixed real character there in midfield. He wasn't really doing anything going forward. We didn't really see Roberto carrying the ball at any stage and really getting us up the pitch. That's what he can do, but we didn't see that yesterday at all. He didn't really hold his width. We didn't really see him in any wide areas here and keeping Reguilón back. So we were basically allowing Real Madrid all of this left-hand side here to come down and really put pressure on us. It was only then when they got into our half that we actually went to close them down. But here, you've got to do more. You have to put more of a threat here to keep them back. We gave them full license to come onto us, to really make some ground, and they certainly did that. Vinicius creating a number of chances and really going close. And so the question is, how exactly do you stop this left-hand side of Real Madrid, and how do you stop Vinicius, and most importantly, the opposing fullback? What I want to do here is cast your mind back here to the left-hand side and the right-hand side here of Barcelona in the first leg. We had Nelson Semedo up against Vinicius, and we had Malcolm here up against Marcelo, who I have to say is an even more attack-minded fullback than Reguilón was, but we still started Malcolm. What we did here was match Semedo 1 versus 1 against Vinicius. It was 1v1, and all throughout the game, game, Semedo marshalled Vinicius without any problem. Well, the question is then, why didn't that happen yesterday? And the reason for that is the fullback. Yesterday, it was Reguilon, and he was consistently getting into these areas here, consistently getting forward, simply because yesterday Reguilon didn't have Malcolm here. He didn't have anybody here to really force him back and make him think. In the first leg, Marcelo, a very attack-minded fullback, couldn't get forward enough to help Vinicius and really give him the overlap and really cause Semedo problems because he was thinking, when I go forward, Malcolm is here, he can really get to me defensively, I'm going to have to be a bit cautious. Yesterday, Reguilon had full licence whenever he wanted to, because there was nobody there, because Sergio Roberto was in this position and he wasn't really threatening there. Reguilon was thinking, well, I'm fine, I'm going forward, I'm going to spend most of my time in Barcelona's half, and it caused us massive problems. The answer to that then is very simple. Pose a threat in the attacking half. And there's a very clear way that you go about doing this. It's with this man, who was absolutely sensational down the left-hand side, Ousmane Dembele. And I want to come on to that now simply because Dembele yesterday was brilliant in the final third, but like I said in the review, I'm not really sure he's best suited to this left-hand side. And the reasoning for that is, you'll see Messi here come in central. Now what you have here is Carvajal. Vasquez is a really good defensive winger who really does marshal Jordi Alba well. But what you'll see is sometimes little gaps here opening up. Now usually you'd see Jordi Alba bursting a gut to get in these kind of areas, Messi will pick him out, and then suddenly you've got an attack on. But this time it was actually Dembele. But what I would say there is, it's two very similar runs. Alba and Dembele want to be in the same space. So is it really productive? Is it really getting the best out of our team to have them both in exactly the same area when they're doing the very similar run? They're very similar in here. Both of them can get a good ball in the box. You don't really need them both there. What I would suggest is having Dembele on the right hand side. The question is though, with Arthur back in this midfield, back as a 3 here, how do you do that with Messi here who's going to come inside? Well, I would start Dembele on the left, but in game I would do what we did yesterday. At times Dembele just slips over here. When Reguilon goes forward, when Real Madrid think they can really go forward, express themselves, really go into our half, then we catch them out. Yesterday you saw it in the second half. Semedo can break. When we get that ball, suddenly it's into Dembele, and Real Madrid here are all at sea. All it needs is a clever run in behind from Dembele, and he's in behind Real Madrid. Suarez is in the box, and you've got everything going. In game, Dembele can switch to that right hand side, and then suddenly Reguilon has to think twice. He can't just bomb forward because Dembele is there, and you know he will make you pay. And by doing that, what you also do then is make Vinicius work back, because Semedo's going to come into play. It's not all about defending now, because suddenly Semedo has a partner. Semedo has somebody here who he can link up with, play in, invite forward, and suddenly it's Barcelona in the ascendancy. It's Barcelona who's getting a man over here and forcing Vinicius back, because if you remember in the first leg, Vinicius lasted 67 minutes. 67 minutes, because for the majority of the game, he was up, down. He was tracking Malcolm. He was having to work back to defend with Marcelo to stop us from attacking. In yesterday's game, he spent the entire time here because there was no threat going forwards from Semedo, because there was nobody else on this side who was posing a threat. What we have to do is be a bit more attack-minded, a bit more brave, commit a few more men forward, because then you don't only create more chances, you don't only have the ball more in your opposition third, you also give Real Madrid a lot more to think about, and you really do get in their head about going forward, and you stop their attacks. You make them more cautious. But I really do believe that with the introduction of this man here in midfield, Arthur Melo came on for the last 5 minutes yesterday. He's going to be absolutely fine to start the game on Saturday. I do believe that things will be very different indeed. We're going to have a lot more of the ball. Yesterday we only just shaded the possession, 52% in our favour. Arthur here is going to get that ball, and what we're going to do then is we're going to keep it, because Rakitic has been really good lately. Busquets was very good yesterday, and we're just going to keep it in that midfield, and then we can build our attacks. Alba can get forward on this left hand side. Dembele, if he needs to, can switch out there to the right. Messi and Suarez here in the middle, and we can just build slowly, and we can just do everything in our own time, at our own pace, simply because in the league game, guys, we're not under any threat. Yesterday we came out at 0-0, and we were playing as though we were ahead in the tie, when really we needed a goal, and we were very lucky that Real Madrid didn't take that lead and get 1-2 goals. In the league game, we're top of the league, we're comfortable, we're 9 points clear of Real Madrid. Really the ascendancy is on them to come out and get a goal, really go for it. So in that kind of game, you could actually take the foot off there, just ease it up a bit and just wait for opportunity. You could actually almost say that a performance like yesterday was a lot more suited in the league game because it's us that's in control. And I think with Arthur, we're going to have more of the ball, more possession, more control, and we should pick Real Madrid apart. When they're trying to get at us, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them in front of their own fans. They're going to demand a response. Real Madrid are going to try and give it to them. And of course, Vinicius is a problem, but I just want to bring you a stat on Vinicius Jr. He is somebody who gets a lot of chances, he creates opportunities, he's brilliant at running in behind, he's got incredible pace, very good close control, but he has had in his Real Madrid career so far 75 shots. How many goals has he scored? 3. 3 goals for 75 shots. That's 25 shots for every goal that he scored in the white of Real Madrid. So clearly, he is a problem, but as of right now, he's severely lacking that in product. We have to force him the other way. We've got to make him run around. We've got to tire him out. We've got to work him back. We've got to do all of those things at the Bernabeu on Saturday because we can't really repeat that kind of performance twice. We cannot let Real Madrid have that many chances because you can guarantee on Saturday they will put 1, 2, 3 of those away. Ter Stegen was unbelievable. You can't expect your goalkeeper to always be that good to deny the opposition. We have to do more. I believe we will do more. But most importantly, we're through to the Copa final. We're in the ascendancy in La Liga. Right now, our dominance over Real Madrid, it couldn't be any more supreme. And as always, guys, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What do we need to do differently on Saturday? And what would you change in the starting lineup and the dynamic of that team? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, I will see you for the match preview very, very shortly indeed. But until then, as always, Visca El Barça.